In 2017, I had a severe allergic reaction to a synthetic energy supplement, and I was on life support and in a coma
Oh Lord.
for about a week. During that health complication time, I was like going through rehab, and then I was also a student at Tuskegee University, so I was like pursuing a degree in plant science, but I hadn't really like hyper focused on what it is I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, aha, like all the light bulbs went off. Like I was like, wow, like I can now like, figure out ways that I can provide healthier, better for you alternatives to the synthetic products that are on the market.
Today, I'm kicking back with Anna Cobb, the founder of Okra Sparkling Water and the CEO of Rejuvenation Beverage Company. She is a plant scientist turned beverage entrepreneur who turned a personal health crisis and childhood remedy into the first of its kind beverage product in the market. In less than a year, Okra Sparkling Water is in 11 Erewhon locations in California with plans to hit the shelves of Sprout locations nationwide later this year. In this episode, we're talking about the health benefits of okra that we've all been overlooking, what it really takes to build in the beverage industry, and pivoting without quitting. This is an episode you don't want to miss. So I wanted to jump in with your origin story because a lot of times I see brands are, created out of need, but yours was a different situation. So what happened that said, you know what, I need a beverage company and then I need okra spring water?
Right. Yeah, in 2017, I had a severe allergic reaction to a synthetic energy supplement, and I was on life support and in a coma
Oh Lord.
for about a week. Um, And I think just during during that health complication time, I was like going through rehab, and then I was also a student at Tuskegee University. So I was like pursuing a degree in plant science, but I hadn't really like hyper focused on what it is I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, aha, like all the light bulbs went off. Like I was like, wow, like I can now like, figure out ways that I can provide healthier, better for you alternatives to the synthetic products that are on the market. And after just doing research on my own personal experience, I found out like it's like one in like every, 3,000 people end up having some type of adverse reaction to almost like all the household name products on the market. And a lot of people, yes, that is a big number. It's like quite widespread, but at the same time, it is something that is constantly happening. Like brands only having to put 45 ingredients on their labels because the FDA is like, oh, that's enough. But then there are still those little tiny things that you find in a nutritional label that are not good for you and are not regulated. So I wanted to make a difference. And we started first was Vegan Clean Cuisine. It was our vegan catering company that I had on campus. And so Tuskegee is located in a food desert. If you've ever been, it's like one Piggly Wiggly and then like a McDonald's, and
Oh.
that's about it. So we were like, how can we, provide? And the religion that I was raised on is Seventh Day Adventist, which follows Leviticus diet and mostly vegan vegetarian. So my entire life, that's what I knew. But then a lot of people don't know that, especially coming from
Mm-hmm.
um, minority backgrounds. So we were just like, hey, we can do this. But then COVID happened. So then we turned into juice. And then from juice, it just kind of went on from there. People loved our energy juices. And I was using raw wyasa in them. I studied in Costa Rica where they actually chew wyasa a lot. So I was like, oh, well, we can put this in a juice and make it fun. We did that for a while. Unfortunately, the energy drink market is just completely saturated, and it costs a lot of money to even
Mm-hmm.
next to the Red Bulls and the Monsters of the world. And so I did not have that backing or the funding to be able to make that, the Red Bull and Monster. So we had to pivot because we were not seeing any sales. We were losing more money than we were gaining. We had just won the Pharrell Williams Black Ambition Prize, which was fantastic, but it still was just not enough. Like some of these brands, you have to give over $1 million worth of samples in order to even see your first $1 million. Like
Wow, really?
huge. Yeah, it's like a industry
Oof.
standard almost. So we were like, how can we pivot? And during that same time, I was going through some other health complications. Hormones were just out of whack. I was 306 pounds. I had like my skin was breaking out really bad. It was just, I was miserable. And I was like, oh, well, my grandmother used to give us this okra drink or whatever. I was like, oh, it's disgusting. But when I started doing more research, okra is a hormone balancer. It helps with gut health. It also is a body temperature regulator. And so, just using like my scientific background and what I was going through again,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? There is not a single okra water product on the market, so let's make this happen. And in 6 months' time, we were able to test the product across, I would say, about 3,000 women, or really like between 500 and 3,000 women. We were able to test the product out. Was selling it at my hospital job, and they were like, "Oh, this is good." And so I was like, "Okay, like let's see who I know in the beverage industry," and we made it come to life.
And y'all, so just since y'all don't know what it looks like, this is what it looked like. This is okay.
Yes.
We are on brand for today's recording. We have all the things, and I hear you talk about the energy drink market being saturated. But what I hear is like, yeah, you had to pivot, but it was kind of like a lesson learned getting into the beverage
Yes,
space, so
definitely.
that you knew, okay, yeah, that didn't work out, but you started making connections, right? You learned how to pitch to get funding so that
Oh
you could
yeah.
pivot and do that for the Okra sparkling water.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm like, I feel like this is how it is for any industry, especially being a small business owner. It's like it almost feels like college again. You have to go through the 4 years of education before you finally get the degree, and then you can apply it, and you can apply everything you've learned in those 4 years to be able to do the actual job. And so that's how I feel about this. It was like I did, I had to stay a little longer, so I did 5 years.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
As long as you finish, okay? Take as
That's
long
right.
as you need to finish, okay?
5 years of just like hard work in the beverage industry, like meeting all the people, meeting the buyers, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, studying all the case studies, looking at Poppy, Olipop, Bloom, like really, you know, like really getting fine tuned on what it is that they were doing and the mistakes that they made, because we see these huge $1 billion exits, but when you realize how much they had to put out, or how many loans they had to take, how many birthdays they had to miss, and X, Y, and Z, like how many ramen noodle packs um
Right.
you start to realize, okay, like it takes time, and all those connections that I made, I swear I would not be where we are now with Okra if I hadn't made those. Like this is not something you can do overnight at all.
Right. What lessons did you learn from looking at other brands that helped you get in the position you are right now? Because you're going to hear there's some success stories, there's some quote unquote, we'll say failure stories or pivoting stories. So, what did you learn from those brands that helped you position Okra where it is now?
You definitely have to crawl before you walk. A big thing for me was, a lot of people like look at networking as a waste of time. Like I feel like after a while, yes, it is a waste of time. It's like I am tired of talking to people, sitting around, all the things. But I've done over 8 accelerator programs and I mean in a vast amount of industries and places. Like I've lived in Maryland. I'm from Maryland.
Hey.
Yes. From Maryland, lived in Indiana, lived in Alabama, and then I moved to Tulsa for 2.5 years for a well, Oklahoma altogether for 3 years. I lived in Tulsa and Oklahoma City, all for programming. And I think one thing that I noticed, what is her name? Allison Ellsworth from
Hmm.
Poppy, right, from Poppy. She always was talking about how, her and her husband, when they were starting the company, and I mean, you might see it as like, oh, yeah, they did get the Shark Tank deal. So they were already, a little bit past. Like, not everyone gets that. They had luck, whatever. But they still had to go through a phase of separation and getting super quiet before now they can be these quote unquote like faces of their brand X, Y, and Z. And I say this to say, like, when I went to Tulsa, I didn't even know where Tulsa was on the map. I didn't know where Oklahoma was. But I went out there because I was like, hey, this is going to be my stretching point. Like, this is God stretching me from the environment that I was in and putting me in a place where I can get super quiet and super focused. And it was hard. I had no friends. I had, like, my family, like I said, was all the way in Maryland. I was like, everything here is completely different, but you have to take that quiet time and really work on like your self work, like really inner work to be able to produce something for the masses. If I had not taken that time out and really focused on myself, what I wanted this to look like, really manifested and like spoke to God about, okay, this is really what I want to do. How is this going to align with your will, and how is this going to align with the path that I'm supposed to go on and what my
Mm-hmm.
impact is supposed to look like? I like I wouldn't be here. And so,
Right.
yeah, you really just have to carve out that time for yourself before you're about to build something large. Like I see, even with like Fawn and Fawn Weaver
Mm-hmm.
and some of the like larger companies that we see, and we see the founders, they all say that they had to go through that trial and tribulations time before your blessings come to fruition. So yeah.
That is true. And I think you also need that time to get grounded because once
Yes.
you get thrown into the spotlight, right? Because like if you think about like Fawn now, like she's thrown into the
Yeah.
spotlight because everything that's going on with Uncle Nearest. If you don't have a foundation
Hmm.
and you're not rooted in like who you are and what you're supposed to be doing, you gonna be rocking all over the place
Yeah.
when you are thrown into the spotlight, positively or negatively, right? So I think that is also a conditioning of like, let me get grounded on who I am, but let me also set the foundation for me to be prepared on where God has taken me. Because once we start, he God is very much like, I'm gonna be quiet, and then it's acceleration. So
And then it's a celebrate because
so
when
you
I
gotta be ready
say,
for the acceleration because we be sitting around
woo,
like, Lord, so when are you gonna move? And then all of a sudden he moves very quickly, and it's like, well, you got what you asked for, but are you ready for it?
and that was me 1,000%. 2025, I was like, I'm not. I had to keep telling myself like, don't doubt God, like don't doubt God, like you cannot doubt Him. But I was like, Lord, where are you? So I was working. I used to work night shifts at this hospital in Oklahoma. When I tell y'all, that was the worst job I've had in my life, and all
Oof.
my friends know, like I've had every job possible. Like I've worked every industry. I've had all the jobs, and but this was literally the worst job possible. And I was like, I am on a track record that I've never been fired before. But I'm like, Lord, please get me fired from this job.
Not get me fired.
What do I have to do to get out of here? And it was like it went on for so long. I was like, oh my goodness, I've never had a job this long that I'm like begging to leave. It was
Mm-hmm.
like I could show up late for 3 weeks straight and they still weren't firing. So I was like, what is happening? But during that time, I mean, I went back and like was looking at my journals, and I got so much work done with Okra during that job. Literally, my first LinkedIn post that I did that like really went viral and like kicked us off with our pre-orders. I was sitting in a patient's room, like typing from my computer, like making this LinkedIn post happen, and I look back now and I'm just like, dang, like I was like, God, you was real quiet. Like, what's going on? But like you just said, things took off so quick. It was literally like overnight. I was just like, whoa, like where are all
Mm-hmm.
the sales coming from? I mean, it's people asking us for this, that, third, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like now I'm begging, like, can you please calm down? Like, can I get he's absolutely we all gas right now. Like this is what you asked for, so
It's like you wanted it. Now you're telling me to slow down. Like, which one is it? Which
exactly.
one is
So
it?
yeah, but
No,
being
I get
prepared.
it. Listen, your LinkedIn post was probably the one that I saw because I saw you post on LinkedIn multiple times, but I'm like, what is this okra sparkling water? Like, what okra sparkling water?
Yes.
What is this? And so I kept seeing your post because I guess whoever we were connected to would share or like, comment.
Post. Yep.
And I was like, let me see what we working with over here. Let me
Thank
see
you.
because I'm very much into like healthier options. And I did, like, I posted in that video when I shared it. I'm like, yes, I drink ginger ale and lemonade, but as I'm getting older, like those things, you look at them, it's like
Yeah.
20, 30 grams of sugar. And so we, like, even my dad and I will talk about them and we'll like water, like basically literally water them down. So we'll do like water with a splash. But it's like, if you don't want you don't want sugary drinks and you're tired of just drinking water, I'm like, I need an alternative.
I heard that in your video. I was like, I
Yes.
love this. This
I
is
was
great.
like, because I just need something different sometimes. Like, something else because we're supposed to drink a lot of water, but sometimes I get tired of water, child. Like, give me something else. So it is a great alternative to that. But I'm gonna talk about okra a little bit because it's not a food that I would eat. I think I only started eating okra maybe like last year. I would go out to a restaurant and get like fried okra to try it. It's not something that was
Okay.
really on my radar, but I see you all post a lot about like the history of okra, our African roots. What are some misconceptions you've encountered introducing? I'll say misconceptions or pushback you've encountered introducing okra water to new consumers that maybe haven't had it. Because I know one thing people ask me in the comments are like, "Is it slimy?" I'm like, "No, y'all." I'm like, "It tastes like sparkling pineapple juice." So, what are some things you guys have come up against when you're introducing this brand to the marketplace?
Man, oh my gosh. So what's funny is like I said, so we're launching into Sprouts, all Sprouts nationwide May
Oh,
1st.
that means you're gonna be at the
And
Burnsville one near me. Okay, good, good.
I will look, we
Listen,
going
thank
to
you.
talk.
Yeah, we gonna talk. We gonna talk offline because that's
Yeah,
literally, yeah, that's down the street. Go ahead.
but yeah, and when I was pitching them, so I will say half of their buyers were like, "OMG, like I know okra, I'm from the South, da da da." The other half of their buyers were like, "Is this gonna be like vegetable broth? Like what is happening?" Like, because I think so many people associate
Mm-hmm.
okra with like stew or soups, and especially in like Indian culture and like West African, like that is mostly in like stew or like you
Yep.
said, fried dyed
Like on
lentils.
High on the Hog, they showed them making stew in the South when they
Yes,
talked about okra and like it, but it was always a stew. To your point, it was never anything outside of that. So
exactly.
it being water, we're just like, you sure? You sure about that?
But we actually use all of the okra mucilage. So that slimy part is the mucilage. So it's
Okay.
basically what the seeds uh I just lost the word. Basically what the seeds like put out
Okay.
is yes, what they produce is
Produce.
that
Yeah.
mucilage. And we extract all of that and then we put that into our okra water to make the water part of it. So so whenever I am pitching to people, I always try to talk about like, hey, like this was a product that came through the braids of enslaved Africans through the transatlantic slave trade. Literally, the U.S. agriculture is like based on Native Americans and transatlantic slave trade. We would not have a good majority of the vegetables that we have now if it weren't for those seeds traveling and what we know of today of like U.S. agriculture. And it is a portion of history that is not normally talked about, but it is funny because I used to work for USDA and okra is such a staple, like in what they talk
Hmm.
about how things were, how crop rotation even came about, and how, like, if it wasn't for the transatlantic slave trade and basically slavery, what we know as farming today, our farming practices today would not exist.
Nothing
Um,
would exist without Black people. We just gonna
Come
put
on,
that out there.
let's talk about
Just
it.
saying.
But yeah, so when we lead with that, I think more people are like, okay, like I'm coming to it. I actually just did a pitch last week, and one of the people there was like, I thought okra was a pepper, and I was like, no, I was like, it looks like I can see that. I was
You
like,
can
okay,
see how it looks like it.
yeah,
Yes.
it looks like a pepper, but I was like, no, it's not a pepper. It's actually really great for you. It has all these benefits. And I think once we start, that's why we wanted to take that skincare approach to our packaging, our branding, X, Y, and Z, because I feel like it makes people feel like, oh, like this is a little bit more luxury. It's not like my traditional okra that I'm cooking with. Maybe this is different,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's not, but yes.
So what are the benefits? Skincare. I mean, well, I think it said what, glowing skin on the packaging.
Yes.
Let's run
So,
down the benefits so y'all can understand why okra is good
yes.
for you. Let's go. We're teaching
So,
today.
right. So overall, like your gut is your second brain. For those that don't know that, anything I tell people, gut health is the way to life. And so with okra, it's automatically going to kind of bring your microbiome back to its base level. So if you have been eating bad, if you have been eating all the sugary, salty snacks for, however long, it's going to clear most of that up, especially in your upper intestine. And overall, that's going to help improve internally your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Because anything you put in the inside, it's got to come out somehow. So if it comes out through your pores, if it comes out all the other ways, whatever. But that's like one of the benefits. Then there's also for women going through perimenopause and menopause, it does help as a temperature regulator, and it also helps with hormone balancing. So we're not as angry all the time. And then also, it's just great for, especially for men. It helps with heart blocks. Men are more prone to heart attack than women, and it does help prevent heart blocks. So with our pomegranate flavor, it actually does boost testosterone and help with boosting antioxidants, which everyone does need in their body. But specifically for men, we were like, we did the women, so now we're gonna move over. But overall, it's great for everyone. It's gonna help with your gut health and all the skin hydration and things. But we were very particular on how we wanted to like structure the flavors that we use and the fruit juices that we use so that everyone feels like they have a product at Okra. Yeah.
So does that mean the marketing for pomegranate will probably see more men in the marketing for that one?
Yes and no. I mean,
Okay.
we have like, so for Valentine's Day, like that was why we wanted to
Mm-hmm.
do, like, it's that red color, it's
Mm-hmm.
sultry, da 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 da. But we are starting to use more men influencers, and just like we've been sending it out to more men for product testing, and they've been like, "Oh, this is great." So,
Like, come on, guys, y'all
right,
health. Your health matters too. Okay, men.
right, come on, we need
We want
more
everybody to
men.
be healthy. We want
Yes,
everybody to be healthy. You had
everybody.
mentioned earlier that you were part of the Black Ambition, and I think I saw on LinkedIn too that you've gotten grants through Hello Alice. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about that process and some advice you'd give for other young entrepreneurs that may be looking for funding opportunities. Because I know I was just talking to Crystal Henry. She's on a previous episode, and I've seen a lot of talk online about one thing us Black founders need is funding. Funding, funding, funding. And so I would love your take on like pitch competitions and grants and some advice for young entrepreneurs that may be looking for funding opportunities. They're not really sure where to look or how to start.
So for funding, again, do the programs, apply for everything. Like I tell people, even if it says this is for tech founders, just apply, because you
Hmm.
never know. It might warm the heart of someone on the other side who's reading it. I
Yes.
promise you, there have been multiple times where someone has reached out to me and been like, we gonna make this exception because your story was real good, or we'll make this exception because blank. If you have a website, you're a tech company, is what I tell everyone. Like, I'm
Well,
like,
I love that perspective.
if you use any type of ChatGPT, AI, if you have any type of system in place, you're a tech company. And I never forget, Bishop T.D. Jakes said at Black Tech Week, I went, it's in Cincinnati, Ohio, another great conference that I think everyone should go to. It's for all categories, it's for all industries. Definitely go. He was like, Black businesses need to start looking at themselves as tech companies. Even if you sell clothes, if you sell jewelry, if you have a podcast, if you are just writing books, position yourself as a tech company, because in the world that we live in today, everything is moving towards tech. Everything is how can we innovate or change the infrastructure of da 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 da. When you start positioning your companies as that, you
Mm.
will see major growth. And I think a lot of brands are always afraid, oh, I'm not ready for VC, or I'm not giving up no equity. Like
We hear
it's
that a
always
lot.
right.
Yes.
I'm not giving up
Yes.
no equity, the whole thing. Look. Okay. There are so many ways that you can keep your equity, but then also give it up so that you get the money that you need. There,
Mm-hmm.
like with us, when I saw that Rejuvenation was not doing as well, but then Okra, took off, I was like, okay, boom. Rejuvenation is about to be the holding group. Okra is about to be the LLC. Rejuvenation is about to have a majority share of Okra, and guess who got a majority share of both of them? But still giving out equity because I can do that because I have two major groups that I'll still have board seats in that I still will never be able to be voted out of X, Y, and Z. And I can still do what I need to do to get the money that we need to produce the product. So then my exit one day, hopefully 5 years from now, we're praying. Hopefully,
She's like, I
my
have an exit plan.
right. Hopefully, my exit one day, I'll still get majority of it, but then I can go ahead and innovate and create the next thing. I think like once you have that plan of what it is you're like what it is you want to do with your company, all of the funding will make sense going forward. And surrounding yourself around people who have done it before, like getting the
Mm-hmm.
mentors, reaching out to people on LinkedIn. I remember it was at one point I used to send out 50 LinkedIn messages a week to just any beverage founder I could find. If I could find any beverage founder on LinkedIn that would talk to me, I would just send them a message or whatever. Because the one thing I love about LinkedIn is like you can find any and everyone.
That is
And
true.
I was at the Rap Snacks convention a long time ago. Love Rap Snacks. Like they have some really great resources for small businesses. I don't know if they still do it now, but either way, he was like, there was a brand there called Go Legendary. They're out of Maryland. They're like vegan.
Oh yeah, I've seen them online before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, he said for an entire year, he sat down and would just combine people's first and last names and their company email and just until it would stop returning to sender so that he
Hmm.
would find whoever his buyer was or find whoever he needed to get in contact with. He was like, he did that, and that's how they ended up getting their deal with Live Nation because he found the email of the person that was because think about it, like everyone's company email is either first and last name or
Mm-hmm.
first initial, like whatever. And so even if you have to just keep doing that until you find who you need, like it really is a lot of busy work, but it does pay off. And I will say, even with like the grants and stuff, um, Hello Alice is great. Collab Capital? No, Capital Club.
Capital Club. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Love Capital Club. Black Ambition is great. They're always doing a roundup like I think it's like every month they do a roundup of just accelerators and different programs that you can apply for. But do the programs, meet the people. Like if they're providing the travel stipend, like take the travel stipend. Like I know sometimes people are like, oh no, like that's not enough to help me out, but I've done programs where literally all they did was provide travel and a hotel. And I'm like, okay, why am I doing this? Because that's it. Like, there's still no money that goes into the business. But you get savvy enough, to take the dollar flight on Spirit, and then you use the other 250 towards something
Mm-hmm.
else or whatever you got to do to make it work. But I've met so many people just doing programs and just going to conferences, and as long as I have a ticket, I'm like, hey, I'll figure out how to get there. I've taken bus, train, plane, boat, automobile, everything. Like, but as long as I can get there and I can figure out a way that will make that moment meaningful, it's worth everything.
So as y'all heard, hustle.
Hustle, get out there.
Hustle. Hustle. What so I know what was the recent headline is that y'all are expanding into a luxury grocery store, which I didn't know about when I lived in California. I'm like, I'm finding out all these
Really?
things about California after I moved back from there. Yes. So tell the people where they can find Okra in store in California right now. We know Sprouts is coming, but there
Yes.
was a recent announcement that y'all have expanded. Where are
Yeah.
you guys now?
You can purchase
Besides online.
Okra, right. You can purchase Okra at all 11 Erewhon locations. Very bougie. I'm super excited. I'm actually going to California in not next week, the week after next.
Uh-huh.
For Expo West. This is the biggest food and beverage conference in the US. So we'll be at Expo West. We have a booth. And I'm like, I finally get to go and actually like see Okra in Erewhon. So I am super excited about that. But yes, Erewhon has been a great partner of ours. And we're hopefully going to get one of the celebrity smoothie deals before the year is over. So I'm praying for that. So yes, please pray for us to get.
Oh, so that would be what, like a okra water smoothie? So
So
how
I had told them I was interested in, so we're trying to pitch to more cafes, and
Mhm.
obviously you don't want to put anything sparkling in the blender because it'll just explode. But
I did not know that, but thank you.
yeah, don't
Learn something new today.
put it in your blender.
Because
um,
I'd be like, oh, let's put this okra water in my blender and let's see what happens. Note to self.
no, the stuff, yeah, it'll be a mess. It's the same concept as like you don't shake champagne, like you add it
Mm-hmm.
after.
Yes. Got it.
So we were like, oh, what if we did okra floats? So like you could get like a top, like on top of your smoothie, you'd get a
Mm-hmm.
float of the okra sparkling water. So we're trying to test that out with different cafes. There's actually a cafe in Baltimore. By
Is it?
Quentin Benny. We're trying to do a collab with him because I love I just became a matcha fan, so
Mm-hmm.
and he's got the first black owned matcha cafe in Baltimore. So I was like, let's try to do this like matcha okra float and see how we can,
Ooh.
or maybe a okra matcha teeny, something like that to be real cute.
Yeah, I don't drink matcha either, but when I saw his cafe was open, I was like, no, I want to go try it because
Yes.
y'all make it look good. Love it.
Yeah. No, definitely. We should all go. We're all gonna meet up. We're gonna have a Maryland meetup.
Let me know when you're for real. Let me know when you're in Maryland, and we can definitely do a meetup because I love having the conversations with people on the podcast, but I think it's also really great opportunity to build out a network amongst each other. Like I've had conversations with over 20 entrepreneurs so far. Right, we're going to another year.
Wow.
This is an opportunity to like, hey, I know this person. You guys can collaborate on this and just build that network amongst each other. So definitely, next
Yeah,
time you're
and
in Maryland, let me
uh,
know. Link up.
we have a women's founders like Maryland group chat, and I'll definitely like add you because it's a ton of us in there. It's like Ahime from Sweet Kiwi, Pauline from Mocktail Club,
Okay.
Margarita from Las Empanadas. It's some other brands. There's it's a lot of CPG brands in Maryland that I had no idea about. I just met this one girl, Ginger Snap. She has a ginger water company coming out. So yeah, you should definitely join. And then Startup CPG Maryland. That's our little time to connect.
Yeah, I need to know who because I also want to use like granted, of course I'm talking to small business owners everywhere, but specifically I would love people who are from Maryland or in Maryland because that's where I live. So it's like we gonna gotta put
Yes.
my people on, where I'm at. But I wanted to do some rapid fire questions before we wrap up.
Okay.
You've done a lot in what has been like 6 months. I don't even know if it's been a full year since we switched over to Okra. Where would you like to see the brand in the next year?
Oof. Okay. So we want to one hit 1.2 million in sales. That's the goal.
Amen.
Um, and then I would like to hit 1,000 stores this year, or like 1,000 doors this year. We'll be at like we'll be at 500 in when we launch with Sprouts.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, okay, that's halfway. So if we can just hit another retailer, we're praying Whole Foods or somebody picks us up by then. So yes, 1,000 doors by the end of this year. and one major celebrity or influencer collaboration.
Who's your dream celebrity or influencer collaboration?
Meg or Cardi.
Ooh, yeah, they would be good.
Yes,
Those would be
I
good.
have a whole like commercial in my head of them singing WAP, and then like also like Okra for like a Super Bowl commercial. I have the whole thing like written
I
out.
got the creative right here. Creative,
It's up here.
the creative is ready to go. You just need them to say
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Love that. What would what would you be doing if you were not in this beverage space?
Probably. So my goal, like before I got into beverage, was to be an entomologist for the Navy. So I'd probably be doing that, playing with bugs all day.
Why you say it like that? Playing with bugs.
Playing with bugs.
And one final question: what is your go-to comfort food?
mm, Nothing but cake.
Oh, those are good.
I'm an addict. They probably have my picture up at a couple of stations. Like this lady cannot come back. So
Well, they want you to come back.
look, it's bad. It's really bad. But no, I'm
What's your
like,
favorite flavor?
vanilla. I'm such a like I only eat vanilla cake. I only eat
Mm-hmm.
vanilla ice cream. Like that's it. But like you can't you can go wrong with vanilla. But I'm like specific. There's good vanilla.
Got it. Well,
Yeah.
let the people know where they can find Okra sparkling water, how they can connect with you online, social media.
Yes. So definitely you can buy all your okra products at www.drinkokra.com. Follow us. Everything is at Drink Okra. Very plain, very simple to the point. You can follow me on Instagram, the Herbal Hottie, or hey, it's Anna and Anna Cobb on LinkedIn. And
And
yes,
she does respond to messages on LinkedIn, y'all. Because
I do
I sent a message.
respond.
I was like, hey Anna, I'm trying to have you on the podcast. What's your email? She's like, sure, here you go. I was like, thank you. So she does respond, y'all.
I do
She does
respond.
respond.
We have a team of 7 people, and they be on me bad about responding. So look, we're doing better this
Listen, I appreciate it because people pitch all the time, and I'm sure some people are just overwhelmed, so they don't respond. So I appreciate you responding. I appreciate you joining me on the podcast today. Make sure you guys check out Okra. Y'all's look. This is what it looked like. It's really good. I'm a customer. Okay, I can speak to the brand. It is really good. If you like pineapple juice, you'll like this one. If not, wait for pomegranate or wait for mango to come out at a local Sprouts near you. Check out the brand. All the links will be in the show notes, and I will catch you guys in another episode.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, drop a comment below and don't forget to subscribe to the Kickback with Keri newsletter.